So, Ishan,
Yeah.
welcome to this short, quick interview that I wanted to do with you for a while.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thanks.
so, uh, if my team would have not already briefed you, last year in 2025, we roughly did about 70 odd crores in client revenue. This is
Mm,
excluding all the Anante wins because we guys were so busy racking up all the revenue that reporting itna
mm,
jaldi ho nahi paya.
mm.
So, to keep it brief, I just want to talk about your experience with us. How did you guys encounter us? How things have been moving? What major challenges that you guys identified that we sort of ran through with Values? Before
Mm.
I get started with that, Ishan, if you could just quickly give a short introduction about yourself and the company.
With Anante, I do sales and marketing both basically. And although sales and marketing uh, are always at each other's throat department wise, I think for me to head both these departments, not just in a managerial but an ownership role, is very important because I, at the helm of it, see both these departments working together and making sure that the leads get converted into active sales. And my major contribution comes from there. And although that is one of the major contributions, I think it's a more strategic position where I am sort of working with experts, good salesmen, and experts like yourself who really understand this business. And, yeah, that's I think a very gist of what I do. Um, you know, complete
Got
role in a very gist format. Yeah.
Understood. So, Ishan, just like you said, there's always a
Mm.
little enmity between both the
Yeah.
departments, sales and marketing. Sales people saying that we're not getting good enough leads, marketing people saying there are good enough leads, you guys are not good at closing them. How do you maintain that harmony in the company?
Uh, the harmony comes from me myself um, doing the dual role of both the departments at some point of the other. So what I did was I actually made the calls. I actually ran the campaigns and made the calls both at the same time, so that I have a proof of concept in my hand that what, out of the 100 leads that I am calling, there are X number of leads that are interested, and out of this X number of leads that are interested, these are the prospects, and you can actually convert them. So there is a proof of concept, and when I am
Right.
leading by example, the sales team and both the marketing team have like a harmonious relationship immediately because they know that I'm not just speaking out of basic data, but actual experience and actual on-field experience. I don't need the experience of other companies or other industries because that has been my trend. I've worked with various industries, I've worked with various companies. So here I have actually sat down, picked up the phone, made the calls, introduced the company, given the brief to the company, then done the design presentation, ran people through the entire quote, kaisa hota hai and all that, and then understanding what the problem is, where these issues are coming from, what people actually are looking to solve. As देखो इंटीरियर एक ऐसी चीज है ना जिसमें no matter how much money you put in is never going to be enough, but
Hmm.
then at the same time it is always enough as well,
Hmm.
right? It is a paradox sort of a situation that people are कि वो एक personal choice बन जाता है कि
Hmm.
ये पैसा हमें कहाँ spend करना है. And
Correct.
smart people, especially in the premium interior segment, you will get a lot of smart people. You will not get people who will go after trends for no reason, who
Hmm.
will go after um, competitive ads which say 4 lakh में पूरा घर and 5 lakh में पूरा घर or 10 lakhs में पूरा घर for that matter. Because we don't market on the budget. Our
Correct.
marketing campaigns are never on budget. You know that. It is
True.
always on quality, on a design language or a journey that we would have together. Because design around you is a concept that Anante truly believes in,
Right.
right? तो वो उस चीज को पर्सोनिफाई करना as a leader, that is the biggest, not challenge, but the biggest responsibility that I carry out every day over here. And when I
Understood.
do that, तो फिर सेल्स टीम का और मार्केटिंग टीम का वो एक it's sort of a responsibility and motivation also, I think, कि वो उस तरीके से उस डायरेक्शन में कंपनी को भी और देन ऑब्वियसली द बिजनेस को भी लेकर जाते
100%. No, it's
हैं। राइट।
a very general saying in the service industry that the designer will always feel they over delivered and the customer will always feel they overpaid.
राइट।
So I think it's an ongoing love and hate relationship with both the client and the company. But Ishan, help me understand one thing. Your role is a very specific one of leading both the marketing and sales department. At
राइट।
what scale of, I would say, revenue and number of projects monthly did Anante feel like, okay, they need to have this position and they need to have someone like you?
I think I think at what point is a very good question, because I think the need of somebody like me coming in comes from not from a scenario but from a vision.
Hmm.
It's not a scenario that creates a space for somebody like me coming in. It's the
Hmm.
vision that the founder has,
Right.
what Russell has. He truly is a master salesman himself when it comes to premium, interiors or overall premium selling. So he knows what the premium customer is looking for. Who he knows what the luxury customer is looking for. He
Right.
knows that it is not about financial numbers. It is not about the design. It is
Hmm.
about a relationship that you build,
Correct.
right? For somebody like me to come in, it starts from him having that relationship with me, that trust with me, and obviously it's a two-way street.
Right.
Me having that trust and relationship with him. So once that sort of gap is filled, then somebody like me comes in and sort of gets aligned with the vision that he has. कि हमें प्रीमियम क्लाइंट्स को सर्व करना है, बट नॉट बाय सेइंग agreeing to everything that they say, but
Right.
also making sense to the design language, justifying it. There are a lot of nuances that come in when we discuss design for premium clients. You should, actually hear these calls. People who are actual premium clients, they will never talk to you about कि मेरा budget इतना है या मेरा budget उतना है.
Correct.
They will always talk about what the idea is, what the
Hmm.
requirement is, or what their expectation is from their home, from the
Right.
space. तो वो डिस्कशन जो है उसको करने के लिए we need somebody who actually understand and who can keep up with that conversation. So for somebody like me to come in and take over these two major revenue generating and spending departments is obviously a part of a vision which Russell has.
Hmm.
Yeah.
100%. Because I see a lot of founders in this space,
Mm,
they keep on firefighting even if they're making good money. Their problem is they have money to spend but they don't understand, do they need to spend more on marketing, do they need a strategic hire like you? So
mm,
as a result, roughly at a, I would say, monthly revenue scale, or let's say projects, 10 15 projects a month, or let's say a revenue scale between 1 to 2 crores, people sort
mm,
of plateau here and
yeah.
they don't understand how to basically build systems and hire
Mm,
people like you to
mm,
scale to the next level. Now, I'm
mm,
sure with you being in place, Pratul doesn't have to be involved in 80% of the firefights in these both departments.
yeah.
So that, first of all, allows him to actually have the vision and
Yeah.
time to actually make it that dream come alive that he has of
Right.
scaling Anante
Right.
Designs. So with that said, Ishan, again, before you guys came to us, I think you guys also were one of our those kinds of closes where you knew exactly what you guys wanted. I didn't have to
Mm,
sit and consult you for days and then
mm,
come to a conclusion. So how
mm,
did that actually happen? I think you guys also had an internal marketing team that was already running
yeah.
campaigns.
Yeah.
So what was that problem statement that you guys were looking to solve with us?
So as I told you, the overall thought, the vision that Russell had. Obviously, you don't meet the right people in the first go. Sometimes you do if you're very lucky. So
Right.
I would say that Russell was a little unlucky with meeting the right people earlier.
Okay.
Although they shared the goal, but they didn't know how to actually get there, right?
Right.
Pratul is a very generous person. He is a very patient person, and he gives chances with all his heart. So he did give the chances to the people, and I wouldn't call them the wrong people at all because they did what they thought is right. But
Okay.
sometimes what you think is right might not be right for me,
Hmm.
right? So people who were working earlier when you guys came on board, so they had a vision, but they had a very they didn't have the vision for premium selling or what premium market actually needs, right?
Okay.
The first 3 4 months that I spent in Anante was just understanding where the gaps are.
Okay.
I don't even have the count of how many calls I've heard or how many meetings that I have sat through without uttering a single word just to understand where the gaps are, what people are missing out on, and why the customer is on the verge of conversion but doesn't convert.
Understood.
So it is not just about the data, but um, really understanding what that data is trying to shout out to you, but sometimes you can't hear it because you don't have the ear for it.
Right.
So, so that was the um, I would say problem statement when I came in. कि हम जो करना चाह रहे हैं, जो प्रसुल का विजन है, ये हमें सुनाई तो दे रहा है लेकिन समझ में नहीं आ रहा,
Hmm.
you know and sometimes things are a little complicated and you don't understand the depth of it until you yourself have a similar sort of vision, right? So I think that is where uh, when I came in, I saw a lot of mistakes that were happening. I tried to correct it, but जब वो सुनाई ही नहीं दे रहा, मतलब तुम सोए हुए को जो सोने का नाटक कर रहा है उसको नहीं जगा सकते,
Hmm.
right? So you cannot wake somebody up who's just pretending to sleep. You can wake up a person who's sleeping, right?
Right.
So वो difference था, and that is where we had to sort of part ways. And I knew that I needed somebody who understands premium selling, and I came across. I was actually hunting for agencies at the time who understands premium selling. There were quite a few candidates, and Values sort of stood out to me because your specialization was in this industry. Premium
Right.
selling तो बहुत सारे agencies समझते हैं. I'm not saying कि
Hmm.
नहीं समझते हैं. There are people who serve. And I won't name the agencies, but there are multiple agencies that I have worked for who work with Mercedes and Lodha and people who high ticket values. But actually understanding the interior design or home design or architecture industry, that is something that I felt is very much in line with you guys. And I think Prasad also spoke with you. And once the two of us had, the meeting with you guys, within the 5 minutes of ending the call, we knew that this is a
Yeah.
relationship that we wanted to go ahead with because there was a lot of clarity.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how it sort of happened.
Got it. Perfect. So, Ishan, with that said, because right now Anante manages two verticals,
Mm,
architecture and interiors. I see people struggling with one. How do you, first of all, manage operationally both of these? And second of all, how do you decide, okay, this month we want to target these many projects for architecture, these many for interiors? Because the way we as an agency get a brief for 3 months in advance, that
mm.
is really comforting for us to deliver as well.
And
So how does that mix happen?
again, I think a lot of answers to your question comes from a vision.
Hmm.
I have a clarity on what 2026 needs to look like for the
Right.
sales and marketing team. I know how much sales need to happen for the 2026 vision to be, completed or for us to reach there. I know for that sales, how many people we need in the pipeline. I know for that pipeline how many we need in the SQLs and for how many on the MQLs, what are going to be the spends, how do I need to divide those spends. After the leads start coming in, who am I going to give those leads to? Um,
Hmm.
how are those people going to sort of process it? So it's definitely prediction, yes, but a very educated um, prediction, because that is where the data learning comes from. And of course, there are instincts. There is a lot of trust that we have with our people, with not just the sales team, but the design team, the execution team, the client relationship team, all of them. Because हमें पता है कि हमारा एक everybody has a capacity. The entire all the companies have a capacity. Nobody has infinite capacity. Every
Right.
person will have that capacity. I will not be able to have handle more than 10 leads per day, out
Hmm.
of which effective calling uh, would not be more than four, because
Hmm.
that's my capacity. That's my energy capacity. That's my energy cap. I cannot make more than four calls with my complete 100% energy, where I will be giving my 100%. तो मुझे पता है मेरे strengths क्या है, weaknesses क्या है, and that is why this predictive uh, discussion can be done with you or any other people that we work with. Uh, when I say that, I mean the design team and the execution team कि भाई हमें इस महीने या इस साल में इतना, ये हमारा विजन है, हमको यहाँ तक पहुँचना है, और उसके लिए we'll have to push in these areas a little bit more. Now, today we face the challenge of growing, right?
Hmm.
So we have come to a point in the past 1 year that we have been working कि हम लोग ने एक growth level तो achieve कर लिया है. Now जब हमें
Okay.
next level पे जाना है, so there is a certain commitment, there is a certain level of I would I would say a certain level of push that needs to come from the entire team,
Hmm.
and without being burnt out, because I can talk about systems, and I can talk about process, and I can talk about instincts and all of these things all day long, but you cannot deny the fact that at the end of the day, this is the creative industry, is the
Hmm.
service industry. No matter how much service you do, um, people might always feel that it's less. And when you work in a creative industry, a good for me can be a bad for you, or a
Hmm.
so-so for you, right? So for the designers especially, we want to make sure that they are not burnt out. They are
Okay.
not in a position where हम सेल्स तो कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जब उसको डिलीवर करने की बात आ रही है, तभी हमें ये हो रहा है कि भाई हमारे डिजाइनर्स इतने बर्नट आउट है कि वो भलते डिजाइन निकाल रहे हैं.
Hmm.
एंड देन whatever we talk about in the sales, during the sales part, that sort of falls on its face.
False flat.
Because
Definitely.
yeah, because when you work with premium clients, uh, and obviously in this industry as well, reference is a huge thing. People
Hmm.
talk to each other, people are connected to each other, there's a network of
Right.
people. So one bad word of mouth can just spoil the reputation that we have all worked very hard to
Bill.
keep up there. Yeah.
True.
So
True. Very true.
So to answer your question, where does all the predictive analysis come from? Where do all these come? Where do all these inputs come from? It is about the entire team being in sync. Back in December, I remember all of us sat down and we listed down what is each of our vision for the company, the leaders, and everybody's OKR for 2026 is designed around all those leaders ka need,
Hmm.
right? So that is why I would also be working to achieve the vision of the execution teams and the design team, and and they would be working for my vision. So the team strength is where all of the entire confidence comes from.
Understood. No, that's a great standing. If the whole upper management or at least the leadership is aligned on the same goals, execution becomes much clearer.
Yeah, yeah,
With that said, Ishan, again, another question because you're very close to the ground when it comes to actually executing sales and talking to these leads.
right.
People usually get confused that, okay, let's say if they're going to market now, there's a customer for a 10 lakh rupee budget, there's a customer for a 30 lakh rupee budget. And definitely, it goes as far as you can think.
Yeah.
As a firm, for both architectural projects as well as interior projects, how do you finalize, okay, this is the ballpark I want to play in? This is the kind of budgets I want to target for customers.
I think
Because
that.
when we market, we are not targeting a specific budget, but still, even if we're not stating prices, we're still getting people in a certain price bracket.
Mm-hmm. So I think that comes from mindset here, because the kind of quality that we are able to deliver, the kind of materials that we are able to deliver, the kind of expertise that we are able to deliver, that experiential delivery, that comes from a certain expertise, and it comes from a lot of hard work, right?
Correct.
We want to work with people who truly understand uh, what it means to deliver premium, what it delivers to, what it takes to deliver luxury.
Right.
So, uh, for somebody who is going to buy let's say, for example, we have customers who have bought a 2 crore home. So the mindset generally is कि 2 crore का घर ले लिया है, and there are going to be a lot of EMIs happening, and ये and वो, तो हम एक छोटा सा टॉप अप लोन ले लेते हैं इसके ऊपर ही,
Hmm.
and then फिर 20 lakhs, 22 lakhs is what they will generally end up spending.
Correct.
तो तो a person who is in the position कि भाई मेरे पास एक लिमिटेड बजट है,
Hmm.
राइट, तो वो एक लिमिटेड मेंटालिटी के साथ ही आता है,
Hmm.
उसमें उसकी कोई फॉल्ट नहीं है, या वो
Hmm.
कोई गलत नहीं है, ही इज एब्सोल्युटली राइट ऑन हिज पार्ट, बिकॉज बजट सबका लिमिटेड होता है, 10 करोड़ का बजट भी बजट है,
Right.
राइट? तो दैट माइंडसेट कि भाई मेरे पास ये इतना ही है, एंड इतना है तो दैट्स फाइन, लेकिन बट देन मेरे एक्सपेक्टेशंस यहाँ है, माय
Right.
spending is here but my expectations here, and that is the distance that a firm cannot deliver. Maybe this is a distance that we can deliver, but
Hmm.
this is a distance that we cannot deliver,
Right.
right? So understanding the mindset is, and it's obvious. Trust me, it's not about the ballpark of a budget. It's about mindset. It's about the kind of attitude, the kind of approach that a client would have. We have
Hmm.
done projects which are only 6 lakh, 7 lakh, because ये हमारे डिजाइन के प्रोजेक्ट है, उनको
Okay.
क्लैरिटी थी कि हमें आपसे सिर्फ डिजाइन चाहिए, और एग्जीक्यूशन जो है वो हम हमारे नेटवर्क के थ्रू, हमारे कॉन्टैक्ट के थ्रू हम खुद करा ले,
Right.
एंड बट आप हमको एग्जीक्यूशन का बजट बता दो। तो व्हेन वी टेल देम कि एग्जीक्यूशन ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर डिजाइन विल कॉस्ट यू अराउंड 25-30 लाख, तो दे सेइंग कि नो, आप ये 15-20 लाख में तो कर नहीं पाओगे, हम लोग कर पाएंगे, तो हम ये कर लेते
Hmm.
हैं, राइट? बट देन there are people who would say कि when we tell them कि execution of this thing is going to cost them 30 lakhs, they're okay with it, because उनका टाइम का वैल्यू बहुत अलग होता है.
Hmm.
For a person when coming to the site, talking to the carpenters, talking to the multiple agencies that work on ground in a home, तो वो टाइम जो वो इन्वेस्ट करता है, वो अगर अपने बिजनेस में इन्वेस्ट करेगा, जॉब में इन्वेस्ट करेगा, तो वो ज्यादा प्रॉफिटेबल है उसके लिए
Hmm.
देन पेइंग अस दैट मनी.
Correct.
तो वो माइंडसेट का डिफरेंस
Understood.
है.
Perfect. No, that's a very practical answer. If someone
हाँ,
hasn't been on the ground, they wouldn't realize
हाँ,
all of these situations.
हाँ,
Right. So, Ishan, just a quick follow-up on that. I think
हाँ.
we've worked with a little over 6 months now.
I think 7 months, yeah,
Yeah.
7 8 months.
Probably that. So,
Mm.
what kind of graph has been working with us? I would like you to narrate very honestly what kind of challenges you expect, key achievement that we guys unlocked together. So, just give me a whole run through of your experience working with Values and some key achievements that you feel that okay, both business wise and just in general working with the people who are sitting probably 1,000 kilometers away from you. How has that
Right.
been?
So one achievement that I feel I am very proud of, and you should be as well, and I would congratulate you on that, is that there is a very fluid working relationship that we have, and more than the fluid relationship, I think there's a lot of trust.
Hmm.
There's a lot of accountability, responsibility, ये सारे words to have, but the most powerful thing that there is between Anante and Values is there is a lot of trust. कि मैं
Hmm.
आपको अगर एक मेल भेज रहा हूँ कि this is what we need to achieve, I know that you guys are going to achieve it,
Hmm.
and you know, and I know that the team is going to work towards finding out solutions um, if it is a challenge. तो मेरे को वो for me as a department head who is heading two departments, this part where I don't have to really run behind you on a day-to-day basis or run
Hmm.
behind anybody, any of my contributor on a day-to-day basis, it's huge because
Right.
the amount of tasks that I would have to do in a day is um, I don't know, 30, 40 tasks that I have to complete in a day. Out of that, maybe two or three strategic decisions that change the company's trajectory or help it
Right.
elevate. तो ये it takes a lot out of somebody. तो उसमें अगर मुझे रोज का आपसे फॉलो अप करना पड़े, रोज का आपसे डिस्कस करना पड़े, that is very exhaustive.
Hmm.
So what you guys have done wonderfully is uh, taken that off my hands and kept me very, very, tension free, very, मतलब I don't have to worry about कि campaign चल रहा है नहीं चल रहा है. हाँ कभी कभी you see there are obviously hiccups in every relationship. कभी कभी
Right.
somebody might forget to message or reply back, or we might forget to respond to some of your needs or demands. I know that you guys have been insisting on particular things, but we have not been able to deliver those because again of some issues. But I have been trying to do my best to make sure that some version of it comes to you. So I know, and I think that is again a wonderful thing that you guys have really understood what my challenges are as a contributor. My challenges, where I'm coming from, and why I cannot give you what you want.
Hmm.
And you have very wonderfully found out or figured out ways to, work around those issues. So I think that is wonderful.
Awesome. Any notable project wins as well that you felt like, okay,
Uh,
this wasn't expected, but this came through?
a lot, a lot. There were we closed resorts, we closed, huge, huge value projects. So multiple years. I mean, I am not at a liberty of speaking about these projects because there is a lot of NDA
Definitely.
and stuff like that.
Definitely.
But I think in the first month that we started working on the architectural campaign, we had a huge win.
Hmm.
Big credit goes to you guys. Uh, Big credit goes to me as well. क्योंकि वो मैंने single handedly क्रैक
Definitely.
किया है. Uh, For me, the proudest moment is कि I am not an architect, I am not a civil engineer, I'm not an architect, I'm not a civil engineer, I'm a mechanical engineer to be honest.
Me
Uh,
too.
really. So I was able to crack an architectural project at a size of more than, whatever, a huge size project. I was able to
Definitely.
crack that single-handedly, and that is a huge thing for me. So I think we have achieved that together. So वो है, and from to be very honest, the reality is reality, and जो है वो है ये कि from 2 BHKs or 3 BHKs in Pune and in suburbs of Mumbai, now after the 6 7 months that we have worked together, we have sort of moved into the really premium areas, 4 BHK, 4.5 BHK, 5 BHK, 8 BHKs even in the very premium parts of Mumbai. I think those are also huge wins.
Definitely. No, this 6 months sounds like. See, one thing is being, factually correct, delivering as a marketing agency, whatever is the number of SQLs required, MQLs required every month. But until and unless we also see them numbers actually come to some sort of revenue fruition, it's not satisfying to work, to be honest. But once we see that, okay, both the ends are working in tandem, everything is giving good quality results and in due time as well, it almost makes us feel proud of our working
Yeah,
as well. That okay, we're actually
you should be.
contributing a lot.
You should be. You should be.
Perfect. So
Because
thank
I'll
you,
tell you
Ish.
one more thing. One more thing. The way you have designed the campaign, um, the way I have gone. I mean, in the first 2 months that we have worked together, I've actually gone in and explored a lot in the meta dashboard, yeah, to understand how you have sort of designed it. The way you've designed it is very smart.
Hmm.
The interest, the hobbies that you have sort of shortlist, the way you have made the audience
Right.
is something that I have learned from कि ऐसा भी हो सकता है. So again, I would congratulate on that.
No, definitely. That's something my team is sort of obsessed with, finding the most efficient ways of delivering a result. With that said, Ishan, what is the next 6 months vision from your personal end looking like?
6 months yeah, I have already set a 2026 vision for myself.
Hmm.
Uh, तो अनान्ते के लिए तो विजन बहुत क्लियर है मेरे माइंड में कि in the first quarter I had to achieve a certain thing, um, which I have achieved. Uh, I know in quarter two and quarter three what I need to do. So there are some hirings that will happen. There are some milestones that will reach. But I think more than anything, I want the upper level or the gist of it is creating engines that work without my existence.
Hmm.
Because I feel good leaders would create systems that work without it. That
Correct.
is the true achievement of a leader. So I think I want to create systems and I want to create processes that can function without me being present at the helm of it.
Correct.
So that would be the dream. Yeah, to by the end of 2026, if I'm able to achieve that, I would
No,
try to.
definitely. If looking at your track record, definitely you should be able to achieve everything because the planning is great enough. The execution becomes practical if the planning is not just, a dreamy thing. You
Yeah.
guys look at numbers, do good predictive analysis. I'm sure you would be able to achieve the targets set apart. Last final question, Ishan. If you
Yeah.
had to recommend Values, would you recommend Values? And if yes, why?
Definitely, definitely. I would recommend value for the strategic thinking, for the smart campaign design, for the fluid communication that we have. So I would recommend it for more than just three reasons. Uh, yes, there are so many things that you guys have surprised me with. I used to say I'm a marketer. It's a 14 year journey that I've had in this industry. I've worked with agencies, I've worked with brands, and I always used to think that ads really need to be jazzy. Ads really need to have a lot of graphics and this and that. So I come from that school of thought, maybe a little old school, I don't know. But working with you guys surprised me in a very, very, very present way, and I've learned a lot from it. So 100% recommend. I would recommend Valiuxe. Ah,
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time, Ishan. Looking forward to
so much.
achieving whatever the goals we've set apart for the coming days.